right. So, hello, Kelly. How are you? Welcome back. Hope you're going well. How are you?
Steven, how's it going? I'm good. Pretty well. How are you?
Yeah, good. How's things with you?
It's been an eventful week, but really good. You?
Yeah, been good. What's been the highlight?
Have you checked out that app called Wisdom yet?
Let me have a look now.
It's pretty good. It's really pretty good. You get some real content when you know in conversation. Yeah, it's been pretty real for the most part.
Wisdom, talk and listen, conversation.
It's really it's kind of what Green Room kind of started out with, but you just have one-on-one conversations with people, and you can set the timer. They actually monetize, they'll give you money or whatever, for content, and it's just all about mentorship basically. But they also give you recordings of all your talks.
So I can record a podcast on it. All right.
Yeah, everything that you do, it records, and yeah, you can download that content right off the app itself.
Yeah, because not many people are coming into my podcast on the Green Room.
Yeah, it's died off for sure because I think Spotify kind of messed it up. They didn't they brought in those influencer people, but that is not interesting. And it just it kept glitching so much that people are constantly being kicked off, and it just was not fun to keep trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the app's gotten better, but I don't know. They brought in a new policy about spam or something, which I don't understand. People don't like it when you drop links in the chat. I don't get that.
Oh, I haven't heard or seen that. I don't know.
I mean, all these apps. I mean, this seems like. Are you on this new app called Wisdom?
Yes. Yeah. If you can look under the Discover part, and you can see people who've had talks and it has the tags or whatever. And then that's the only way to really find anybody on the app. So you can't look up people. If they have a live conversation going, you can look at it that way. Or you can look under say love and relationships, and then you can see dating, sexuality, gay voices, black voices, and you can see dating coach or something, and then you can look under there and see the people who've had talks and click on that and then follow them that way. But that's the only way to find anybody on there,
And they send you a recording.
No, it's straight from your profile. But the thing is, there's a lot of people on there who I don't want to talk to. But then there's some people that I've really I've made some in just a couple of days. I only just have popped in, and I've done one introduction conversation and one conversation about followers or something. And I was only on there for a few minutes. I joined in a lot of other people's conversations, and it's been really
graduating with the 3.0. And
sorry about that. Someone was but that's exactly right.
What?
I was just looking on Wisdom. Someone was talking, so I just had to switch the mic off. My apologies for that.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
No, there's so many of these audio apps now, but going the topic of dating. I'm on 3 dating sites: Bumble, Hinge, Bado, Wild. I don't know. The whole virtual world's. We live in a virtual world now.
So, are you not having are you feeling you don't have success in it? This is actually one of my my abilities to support people.
I haven't had any success in it at all,
I can help you with this. It's literally this. You probably are not showing up authentically. You're probably, if I could guess, and I'm going to just real quick, your profile maybe looks a little bit like a resume. You probably say things because this is a failure right here. I like to travel, and I've been to these places, and and then you list all your accomplishments to try to qualify yourself. And then you say something about dogs or food and cooking and going out to eat and walks in the park or something like that. But that's not, everybody says that. And then you post a picture of you catching a fish, or you know, or you like all your pictures are with you and your dog. And it's like, okay, I get it. But like, who are you really? Because everybody is that person. So like, if you go in there and you just start talking about your thoughts, you know, you just kind of like, just share like type out like how you think a little bit, you know, and just kind of like show up and let people see who you really are. If you don't know who you really are on the inside, it's going to be hard to do. But like the people who know themselves are going to like align with the person who you are if you're able to show who you are really, you know, like a little conversationally almost your profile. Make it not what everybody else's looks like by just actually coming in and being yourself and not trying to prove that you're a quality person. That makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. That's, yeah, look, you know, when I've had a few conversations with people over messages, but then I try to give it a week and I say, oh, do you want a video chat? And some of the girls say no, so that's fine. I don't push it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can say something like, you could be like, I miss hanging out with people. Like, we don't even have to date. Let's just go get friggin' coffee or boba or whatever it is that you like to do and like hang out. And then we'll see if we have like, you know, a good vibe. We might just be friends, but like, let's do something. And that takes the pressure off because dating is like so stressful sometimes. Like if I want to go meet up with somebody for, you know, I haven't met before, the last thing I want to call it is a freaking date. I literally don't want to feel like I have to get dressed up, feel like I have to impress you, feel like I'm trying to win you over. That's not fun. I don't like it. That makes me stressed out. But if I feel like, hey, we've had some conversations, we get along on this way, let's go see what it's like to hang out and just wander the sidewalks and like drink our latte or whatever and like see if we can like flow in conversation in real life. And if we can, then we probably vibe enough to like hang out and actually maybe do something more datey, like, you know what I mean? For me, I don't like to call meeting somebody a date. I like to just say, let's just meet and hang out because that pressure stresses me out. I don't want to be stressed out, you know?
Exactly. No, it's a good point that you say that. And yeah, for all the audience listening, take some good tips from Kelly. No, exactly. Like, look, if I'm going to meet a girl for a coffee, you know, all I can just do is just be myself and, you know, keep it respectful. But, you know, sometimes what I've found, they say, yeah, they want to organise a second one, I'll get back to you. I'm not going to push it and be pushy.
No, yeah. Like, I would, so I'm on one site. I've been months off of it now, but I hang on to that profile and I log in every now and then. But the one thing that I heard the most when, so, you know, I definitely had, you know, over 1,000, a couple thousand, like, likes and comments. And to the point that the DMs were so full that I lost people I actually wanted to talk to in them, which is kind of annoying. But like, the thing that I did that I heard the most was, oh my gosh, your profile is so different than any other person on here. And that really got me thinking. And so then I started helping people kind of rewrite their bios so that they could show up real. Because one of the things at the top of my profile was kind of like a blog, really, but it was like, I don't want to be a single ounce of fake. And I absolutely don't want to like lead anybody on or try to have to be anybody to anybody. Like I want to kind of just be almost like too raw. It showing up there so that like there's no that it's effortless. Like that when we do hang out in person, and I have like several really good friends from there, but I moved from Los Angeles to Phoenix, so you know, like dating became like not an option because it was all right at the beginning of COVID. I'm like, I mean, the profile is a couple months old, but like whatever, I've got a busy life. The thing is that that noticing that I heard that all the time means that obviously I was standing out for that. And I know my profile pictures were like all right and whatever too, but that's another thing. Not a single profile picture was more than a couple months old. And I also took them myself. It wasn't a bunch of selfies. There was nothing professional. It wasn't me and somebody else. And I scratched out their face. It wasn't me looking like I was having a lot of fun. It was just me in a regular way, you know? I didn't have makeup. I wasn't trying to impress anybody, so that when we met in real life, there was no fear that I was going to be a disappointment. And like, I didn't have to try to keep face at all, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. You don't want it to get awkward too. Like, I was on Bumble and I had a video chat with a woman, but it just got awkward, so we just ended it. You just move on, you know.
And what got awkward about it?
She just didn't sound like what she was portraying herself to be on her profile pictures.
Yeah.
Just didn't get along, that's all.
Yeah, I understand. Like, that's what you don't want, right? Like, that's really important. Yeah, I think that's really important. And that's what is going to make you also rise to the top. And like, look, you know, if you're looking for somebody that you want to talk to, read their profile and find something, read between the lines if you can. Like, I often left a lot of information for people to kind of pick up, and whatever they would speak to when they messaged me, that would actually speak to me, that would rise to the top on catching my attention. So like, if I talked about just my opinion, you know, it asks questions. I'm an OK Cupid, and it asks questions like to give you prompts and things you can answer. And I would drop something in there that I really care about. And if somebody said like, oh my gosh, me too, that movie, and then they hit upon something that's like a key element to let me know that they felt the same way when they watched that movie as me, now I'm really interested in who they are. They obviously think a little bit like me. They think in general, which is really important, because boring is just absolutely not going to work. And like, they also they connected with me on something that matters to me. So like, finding something in a person's profile that you can tell is something that they align with, and then speaking to that instead of just telling them that they're hot or they have a great smile is going to go so much further with finding a person that you actually want to talk to.
See, for me, Kelly, unconditional love, because I'm 28, means so much more to me than any material items. Because I've met women out there who, you know, put all this makeup on and take the glamorous selfies on Instagram, but yet just feel uncomfortable around them. I don't know why.
Women in a lot of makeup, is that what you said?
Yeah, it's just some of them like they portray themselves to be like, I'm the Paris Hilton sort of person.
Well, you know why you're uncomfortable? Because you're not talking to a real person. Those people, they're not being themselves. This is a person that they think that they need to put out there in order to like gain attention, but you don't want to hang out with who they're trying to be. You want to hang out with who they are.
And I've met them in real life too. And like, you know what first impressions are like? Like immediately I could tell I'm not comfortable with you.
So
you know,
that just, you gotta find, there are the real girls out there, but like those girls being able to be real on there, there's so many women who are afraid of showing up, afraid of rejection, yet they're still looking for like connecting with people. They just literally, just like the guys too, they'll show all their fish pictures. Like, anyone gives a shit if you can catch a fish, right? But like, right? Yeah. But like, that's what they'll show because that makes them feel like they're more like masculine or something, like capable. I don't know. But that doesn't convey their ability to be a man. It just, to women, that just conveys it to them. So like, people are real confused about how to communicate with others, especially when like looking for love, you know? So you could share something honest, like put a little bit in there about something that is very real, so that people know you're a real person. and even say like, hey, like I've reached out to quite a few people, but it just doesn't seem to hit home. I really wish that people would, that there were profiles on here where people were showing up more like real and vulnerable and more themselves. Like, it's nice that women want to wear makeup. Like, I appreciate beauty, but gosh, like the girls that I have dated are, they're so beautiful in the morning without it. Like, I love that fresh face or whatever. And somebody might be pissed off that you say that because it makes them feel insecure for wearing makeup. But then that's also going to empower a lot of people who read that to feel like maybe I should come to this app a little more real. And they might add some new pictures and then try to reach out to you. Who knows? But you're creating that space.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all about being yourself too, Kelly.
Yeah. Which people are afraid to be because we've had so many hard hits in our life and we aren't comfortable or safe with ourselves for whatever reason, right? So like, how are we going to get people to be safe and comfortable with themselves? You have to show up and be safe and comfortable with yourself first so they can see it's okay.
Exactly. You got to surround yourself with people who want to succeed.
Who doesn't want to succeed?
And positive people as well. Like I do my affirmations. Keeping the mind healthy is very important.
And that could be something that you say, but how intimidating is that if somebody wants to keep the mind healthy, but now they think that you're some kind of like expert or judgmental if they aren't doing that? Do you really want to meet somebody who says that that's important to them, but they really don't feel that way, but they're trying to impress you? So how are you going to communicate with people what's important to you without creating a boundary between you and them by doing so?
I think just being yourself and just talking like we're talking now.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, Kelly. Because I do meditation. That's probably what I meant. Spiritual. I'm into spirituality.
Same. Actually, that's one of my big, I'm a coach. And so like, yes, I'm really into being able to trust your instincts and, to know what your voice is inside and to create your worth from within so that when you navigate relationships in life, be it like intimate or just your family, like you're not trying to gain your worth from other people. And so constantly like chasing something and never being able to live authentically and fully. Right. So like, I do a lot of, I also meditate and stuff and meditation can be intimidating for people, but maybe they're curious. Maybe that's something you can speak to. Like I love to meditate because I just really feel like so centered and like safe within myself. And like, if you haven't learned to meditate, like I get it. Like it was so hard to learn to meditate. I totally would like love to talk to you about that. If you have any questions, you have to be able to open doors for people to walk through. Like if you have a locked up closed door, or if that's how it comes across to somebody, then how are you going to find anybody to connect with?
Yeah, just put as much information as you can and just be honest.
Yeah, and real. Yeah, just show up as you are, and when people see that you're doing that, you'll be able to create, like a safe area around you where other people will be able to, and then you're going to meet somebody.
But yeah, you just got to keep going. Persistence.
Are you? If the app that you're already on isn't working, then you might look for a different one.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying them out.
Are you on Instagram?
Yes.
So on Instagram, one of the ways that you can meet people is simply just by having conversations. Hey, like, like look up the hashtags and then just like something and be like, speak to how that thing that they shared, like totally you get that. Like, like, man, like this one totally speaks to me. Like, thanks for this post. I'm totally going to follow you now. Now, like you've met somebody in a way, and you can keep doing that, but you're also connecting with people in a way that you know that you guys have same like alignments and interests, and through that you might meet somebody who you really want to go hang out with, you know, like on Bumble or whatever. I haven't done Bumble, but I've worked with people who have. Like, some of that stuff is literally not designed for finding people that you actually align with. And I never have paid for a dating app because I just don't think that's necessary to meet people. Like, but, you know, like, that's how you're going to find people you align with. You don't necessarily have to be on these pre-designed apps to make connections with people. You just have to find like minds, right? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like-minded people. I mean, I'm on the Insight Timer meditation app, and they've got a community as well. So, I you know, when you hang around your community, it feels better.
So, yes. How deep do you actually go, though? Like, I've heard you on here, and I know, like, you say things that are very, I don't hear how you actually feel, though, Stephen. Like, you're still on the surface, to be honest. Like, you got to get deeper than this. You got to get more real, and that's going to really attract people to you. More deep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still finding it out. Like, all these dating apps are new to me still.
So share something that's really honest about you right now. Go practice your.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm gonna actually. Well, I actually have autism, mild depression, and anxiety, and I'm a beginner entrepreneur. Got a bachelor's degree in music that I completed in 2018. I've travelled to America, New Zealand, Northern Territory, Australia, and
tell me about what you think. When did you get diagnosed with, or when did you realize that you were on the spectrum?
Oh, I was a kid.
A child. And how was that experience for you?
Well, it comes down to, like, socializing. It gets difficult. I mean, we're doing a podcast now, so I'm talking. But it just comes, sometimes my anxiety, I just feel just down, and can make me feel like crap some days.
Yeah. Because it can be very, it can kind of overrule what you're experiencing in life. It can kind of dominate your experience, right? Your day.
And look, if I'm going to have a girlfriend, of course I'm going to be honest with her. I'm going to tell her this is what I have.
So, you know what? Like, I don't think that you have autism. You just live on the spectrum. You are autistic. Let me tell you something about me. I care so much about autism. It's something that's innate in my gut. It's like, I had a long conversation with a woman today who has a son who is autistic. I have neurodivergent children of my own. I probably am as well, a little. And like, I actually believe that it's more common for people to have an autistic experience in life than not. It's actually more common to be more singularly focused, or to have a more sensory, like, able experience in life than not. I think that we're all like, we're the people who are closed down to their senses and to their abilities in the world. Those people, they're actually more atypical, and it's a gift. It's literally a gift to be highly sensitive, to have to have in tune or like expansive sensory experiences, even though it's more difficult at times. The reason that it's so difficult at times is society. They tell you there's something wrong with you when you're actually exceptional, not a burden, not a challenge, not a problem, you know? And you gotta, I mean, you don't gotta, but like, that is not anything wrong with you. It's not a disorder or a disability or a health condition. It's literally, you have the ability to experience life actually more expansively because your senses are more raw. And what the problem is though, when you have like, if you scratch your skin a lot, that part of your body is going to be more raw. So when you touch it, it's going to be highly sensitive there, right? So you have a more raw way of experiencing the world, which can be harder, but it's also kind of beautiful. And
it is. It hasn't stopped me becoming an entrepreneur, Kelly, but what I get frustrated about is people don't take me seriously, and yet I've done all this amazing work.
Who are you trying to get to take you seriously?
Oh, just saying when I'm pitching to some people older people, they think because I'm young, what are you doing, Steve? It's just stuff like that.
Well, how so, Stephen?
They just sort of laugh at me.
What are you trying to convince them of?
To do business.
But like what?
Partnerships with my company, or be a guest on the podcast as well when I'm reaching out. But that doesn't stop me, Kelly. I just keep going.
I hear you. I hear you that you are resilient.
I'm a first year entrepreneur, by the way.
A first what?
I'm in my first year. I've just completed 1 year.
Well, that's wonderful. That's a celebration. Good job.
Oh yeah.
It's hard. Like life is full of things to do, right? Like it's so expansive. It's crazy. But if your circle of people are not your circle of people, you're always going to keep hitting the same wall. So it might be that you're just not, it might be that you just haven't met, or you will meet. How about maybe while you're meditating, imagine that feeling that you got the first time you really felt heard and understood, and you really felt the possibility in your life. It might have been really young. It might not have been that long ago. And kind of try to feel that in your body when you think of that time, and just kind of try to remember every day while you're meditating, like that feeling that you got, and just hold that feeling in your body for a little while you're meditating, and don't when you interact with others, remember that you don't have to prove your worth. That like, people will come to you. I mean, look, I don't know anything about you. We may or may not have anything in common, but I remember that it felt like there was something that seemed like there's a genuine person in there. And I thought, I'm just going to say hello to this person a few times. I'm just going to reach out. Like, I don't know why. There's just, I'm weird like that. I'm all about my whims. So, you have something. I know you do. Or I wouldn't talk to you. I wouldn't have said hello on YouTube just to say hello,
Yeah, and look, keep commenting on videos, because I'm happy to help in the comments as well, and I'm always open to any feedback on YouTube.
Yeah. No, you know what you want to do. I don't know what, about your music, or you obviously, if you went to school for music, then you must have some really like alignment to that, like a passion. It brings something to you, right?
Now I'm trying to make a career out of it, so that's what I'm pushing for.
Well, how do you want it to come about as a career?
Yeah, so teaching, the production company, YouTube as well, writing for the film, the video game stuff. So that's the music side. Bandcamp sales too. And then you got the podcast, what we're doing now. So I'd like to monetize my show in the future, get my own studio.
Do you have a space where you are offering people, like, can you teach people things online, like in little one-on-one or group sessions?
Yeah, that's what I do. I do Zoom, so I can record the lessons and send them the recording.
And how is that going for you?
It hasn't gone good. So it's been 1 year. I put it on the website. Had no students. So I'm thinking, well, should I take it down? Is it going to work out? Is that what the market wants? Music lessons? Because that's considered a luxury item.
How are you connecting with people?
Online, social media, promoting it, word of mouth, organic.
But how are you reaching people? Like, how are you reaching people?
Business cards in people's mailboxes, the old-fashioned way. Email list, a monthly email newsletter too. That's been going pretty good. Green room too, like we're talking. So I'm not running any paid advertising.
I don't think you need to. What you're missing is that human one-to-one contact, right? Like, how are you developing those relationships, which I hear from you is a struggle. And
it is.
Yeah, right.
Because marketing's not my thing, Kelly. I'll be honest. I hate it. And the goal for me, I'll be stepping down one day as CEO for Shields Productions, and I'm hoping someone will take over. I can just concentrate on building.
What are you doing when you're not working on these things?
Me, I do yoga, exercise.
I mean, is this your source of income?
No, and the stock market. So I've started stock market investing now in Bitcoin.
How is that going for you?
It's going good. I got my first dividend payment. Very slow.
That's good.
I mean,
so is that your source of income? Are you doing like other day job things, or?
I was doing a day job, but then the pandemic hit, so things have closed down. Still, used to work in hospitality or the service industry, as you would call it. But entrepreneurship's a very slow thing, I've noticed. But it's good. It gets me up every morning.
So you're showing up in a lot of places, but you're not catching any bites, right?
Mm.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. And so if I hadn't remembered that one time you came into a green room space at the beginning of Green Room and said like hello or something, and for some reason something about you made me wonder how that guy in Australia was doing, and I didn't forget you. And you didn't say or do anything unique. Mm-hmm. There was an energy for me, like I go with my instincts, and so I decided to check in on you and say hello. So I looked you up on your YouTube, right? And otherwise, you would never have talked. We would never have spoke again. I don't think, right?
Exactly. Let me tell you something, Kelly. I'll be honest with you. I got a roof over my head, okay? I'm happy I can go up to my takeaway shop and buy food. I got food on the table. I'm not starving. So I am blessed. Mm-hmm. Because I'll tell you that there's a lot of business people that can't afford a cup of coffee out there. And they're broke. And that's not me.
So if you have the luxury then of like persevering, you might try to not diversify so much, Stephen, but actually try to how do you make friends in real life?
Meetup groups, Insight Timer, because everything's online. It's just, if the conversation flows.
Australia's pretty difficult right now, I hear.
Yeah, I know. So that's how it's been. Like I said about Insight Timer, the meditation app, the amount of people I've connected with because we like meditation, and you just feel that community spirit. Because everything's shut in Australia. And there's no network.
Are you able to have like intimate conversations though, where you just like share like how you're feeling that day, like just as a friend?
I just share how you're feeling that day. Not intimate conversations like we're doing now. Plus the podcast keeps me busy. I've had some fantastic guests. Jason Stevenson is one. So that, yeah. I just keep busy, keep going.
But you're not feeling fulfilled right now, Stephen.
No.
Okay.
I always know that I could do something better than I can now, you know. Do you feel like that sometimes?
Well, yeah. Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. But I know, I'm 43. But like I know, I know who I am. There was a decade during my marriage where I had kind of been dismantled by him, but I allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's no longer a problem. Like I'm bouncing back from that. And but like when you're not sure what feels super aligned really deep in that center of your belly with how it feels to just feel like, yes, this is definitely me. And I know what pulls me forward. Then you do feel more often than not, like you're kind of like the flopping on the shore fish. And so that's what I'm trying to get here with you is like, puppy, get off my bed. Is like, what you like music, you went to school for music. Like, you're on the spectrum, you have autism, and so that makes conversation a challenge, or like connecting. Sometimes you just feel like people don't get you, or you feel like you're not getting them. You feel like you're missing something in the interaction. Am I right?
Yeah, well,
so yeah, I hear you, and I hear how that feels, and that also can feel like that disconnection. That kind of feels like maybe that's your normal. You get kind of like stuck in, it's the pattern, and that pattern is easy to just keep on even when it doesn't work. And because that's what's normal for you. That's your normal. It's hard to deviate from what's normal. However, there are people out there who do want to know you, and it's important that so like you care about mindfulness, you care about meditation, you care about music, but that still doesn't tell me who you are. And that not knowing who Stephen is the part that keeps you that keeps you a little bit separated sometimes. And so like, like, how do you know who you are? When you were a child, think back for me for a minute here. When you were a kiddo, like, what did you feel the most like at peace, and like kind of like you if you look back, what did you tend to like kind of end up doing all the time when you were allowed to just do whatever, like, did you find yourself like hanging out with the animals, or did you find yourself walking through the park or on the beach, or did you find yourself gravitating towards like caring for others, or gardening, or writing, or pictures, or was it always playing music? But what felt whole for you?
Just walking in nature
You
by
like
myself,
outside.
actually.
Okay.
Exactly.
And what happened? What happened when you walked outside? How did that feel?
I just felt good, peace and quiet.
Describe it more to me. Get deeper.
Just clear it. When you just clear your mind of all the clutter and stress, especially when I'm around animals, because I love animals too. Horses as well.
Okay, this is good. Horses. Okay. Tell me about horses.
It's just they're cute, and I've had them on my YouTube channel, and they're funny as well. And they bring a sense of joy.
Tell me about that.
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Oh, when you just like, I just sit down and I just watch them, and I just forget the world.
Uh-huh. And what is it? What do you see when you watch them?
Peace.
How so?
Just quietness. They're happy. They're healthy. That's how I see horses.
Describe it. Like, what do they do? What are they doing?
Eat grass. I think they meditate as well.
How do you imagine? No, this is good. How do you imagine them meditating?
When they just go and stand under a tree together at, say, about 12 o'clock, and they just sit quietly. That's how they meditate.
So you live near horses now?
Yeah.
And so you really like to go out around in the middle of the day because, you know, the horses are kind of just chilling and being together in a very like centered way under a tree. Is that right?
Yeah. Or in the morning, sometimes I'll get up and I do my meditation. They'll come over and listen to who I've got playing on Insight Timer. So I do like animals, Kelly. I mean, I saw an echidna yesterday walking around, trying to find ants, or a magpie. So I'm an animal person, cats, dogs.
So you really relate to how they're very just present in their moment. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
And you kind of like admire that, and that just feels really like grounding for you, like centering, and that just gives you such a center, like a calmness.
But what about you? You an animal person?
I'm a caregiver in my heart. This is what I've met. The majority of people I've met have told me that I'm very, that I would make a good nurse, or that I'm a good, you know, that I have good energy, different things like this. Like I've always taken care of other people. So that's what I do.
That is awesome.
But I was little when I remember this recently, Stephen, that when I was little, I would walk across this terrible little racist town in the Midwest of the United States by myself. I'm talking like 6 years old, across this town, which I would never allow my own child to do. And I would go and hang out. I would enter the nursing home full of old people in wheelchairs and whatever, walk in, a small child, just walk in and just go hang out in the hallways, in the lunch area, wherever, with people I didn't even know, and just talk to them. And I would intentionally do this. I would be like, I should go check in with the people at the nursing home. And you know what I was thinking at the time? I want to go make sure they're okay. I want to go bring happiness to them. I want to go brighten their day and just say hello to these people. Now, why would a 6-year-old do this? I've not met any child that would just do this, but that's what I just did. So like remembering that for me was very validating as to who I am and just who I've always been, you know, so that when you can connect those dots for yourself, then you can clearly see the path you're supposed to be on.
Yeah, exactly.
So while you're great, while you hear like be an entrepreneur, Stephen, while you hear these things that people are supposed to do to have comfort and security and safety in their lives, how they're supposed to like show up in the world, and you're doing those things because that's what you heard was the thing to do. But what I heard just now was that wouldn't it be amazing for you if you were able to create a place where if you, I don't know if these are your horses or somebody else's, but what if you were able to help kids through trauma or help children on the spectrum to kind of have that sense of fulfillment and go hang out with horses and just sit and observe and maybe even draw or write a little bit while they're sitting there, because those things are forms of meditation as well. And now you're giving these kids like a good, and it could be adults. It could be adults who just have had like such a like disarray in their life. And you could just offer like, hey, like I've got these horses, and I offer like hour-long, you know, sessions where we just sit and we just kind of, we you know, creatively write, or I'll guide you through. I'll help you learn how to meditate. And also you get to interact with these horses and have these experiences that you wouldn't, you know, otherwise have, because you don't have these horses. But I do, and I want to share my gift of appreciation of nature and horses with people who are needing that. Like it might not be, and you can even teach them music while around the horses, because absolutely people do love animals, and it does feel really calming and peaceful. And if you have an autistic mind or an ADHD mind or anything like that, where you're always having a lot of chaos and overload, then this is definitely a way to find a way to feel, like to take that overload out of your life. And so when you are having overload, you can reach into that feeling of calm and peace. You're giving them a gift, an opportunity to interact. And also, you know, you can teach the lessons there if they want to learn music, but in a calm, non-overload environment in nature. Like bring those things into your experience of of reaching out to people.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That is a good idea.
Maybe, yeah. You could think it through, but it might be that would be very fulfilling for you and others. And when you're doing something that feels fulfilling, it's so much easier.
It just gets frustrating, sometimes, when you put all this hard work and effort in, no one comes to watch it. Does that happen with you as well?
I'm working on being willing to have people see me. I'm quite shy, so surprisingly, I know, but it took me a lot of just constantly, I don't like social media myself. I don't like,
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So I came back to it this summer and I just started stepping in and stepping forward. And then I realized I'm able to connect with people. And I mean, I already knew that part, but it's not as scary as I thought. So I haven't yet had a lot of rejection, but I'm about to start making content. I signed up for a program that's going to really push me. It's a lot of one-on-one and group stuff over the next couple of weeks. And I'm totally afraid of it because I know that I'm going to have to just start showing up and being super real, on the fly. And I'm going to feel so insecure and afraid. But it's something I really needed to do. I needed to step into my voice for a long time now. And so I'll let you know. I'll get back to you on that, what it feels like when nobody notices. Actually, I can speak to, I posted yesterday, the first assignment was, okay, just post right now in this closed group of Facebook, which I don't like Facebook, but that's where it's at. Just an introduction video. Do it right now. Don't overthink it, just as you are. Oh my gosh. I only 3 people hit like. I didn't feel a lot of love and support, which is what I really wanted. And that feels like a rejection. And I'm so, and it was sunny and I couldn't see my phone. So I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what I sounded like. And I wasn't able to critique myself or re-record it because that was part of the assignment, was not doing that. It's so uncomfortable. I feel so much rejection, even if there's no rejection at all, even if nobody really knows how important it was for me that everybody like and comment on my video, that I wasn't special enough to get all that. For them, they're just scrolling through and they just don't realize how much I need that. But for me, I'm they probably saw it and didn't like me. Now, that's silly of me, I think, but that's how it feels. It's scary as hell. Even if I know my worth, it's still scary and hard. But you are showing up. But the reason why you're not finding the connections is because maybe this isn't aligned with actually what you're super passionate to do, or you haven't been reaching the right audience. The people that would understand where you're coming from aren't hearing you.
That's the hardest thing about any business is your target audience. That's for a marketing person, you see. So one day I will have a marketing manager to do all that as I grow, because people are good at stuff. There's things I'm not good at, like sales. That's hard.
It is hard.
I mean,
I'm not good at that either. But you know what? Here's the authentic, Stephen. We need authentic. You would not have ever told anybody that you like to just chill with the horses because it gives you joy and peace inside if I didn't ask. But that's actually authentic of you.
Yeah, and animals are very important.
They are. But it's also important to know who you are when you're making these content pieces.
Exactly. But that's the thing, with dating, for me, age doesn't matter as long as it's unconditional love. That's all I care about. I don't really care about material items anymore and chasing money. I'm over it.
Dating is different. Dating is Dating.
That's just my views.
Unconditional love has to start within, and in order for that to occur, you have to get honest with yourself and look back into your life through all your pieces, all the heartbreak, all the things that you don't even know are hiccups, and grab those things and give yourself a hug in those moments. And like when you're able to feel, it has to be a feeling of worth inside, and root yourself in that, the rest falls into place.
Yeah, exactly. You know, maturity as well is important too. Yeah, and overcoming rejections and knockbacks are going to happen all the time. Rejection will always happen to any entrepreneur. But yeah, you just think the end reward is going to be the best when it happens, when you achieve it.
Well, it's good to have your eye on a goal, but you also have to be present. You're present with the horses. Like that's like maybe take all the checklists away, you know, and just start living without so much, this is what I'm supposed to do, on your shoulders.
Well, I tend to get too hard on myself sometimes. You know, when you watch Tony Robbins and like Bob Proctor saying that, you know, set your goals. I mean, I have a goal setting app, of course, but then I tend to get fixated on it.
I hear you. If I was coaching you, which I have been kind of this time, but I would tell you to ditch these things, ditch these apps, ditch it all, and like let's discover who you are, and then start from there.
You know, or listening to Mel Robbins. Have you heard of Mel Robbins? The 5-second
rule. I don't align with these two people that you mentioned. These people are really good marketers. That's how I feel.
So that's how it is. I've had to learn. Like, this is what Insight Timer taught me, to not be too hard on myself and just surrender and let it go.
Let it hang on to that feeling of peace when you're looking at those horses. You got to hang on to that. That's where your center is at. That's who you are. That's what we just figured out. That's kind of your core like cornerstone.
Exactly. But tell me about you. Did you go to university, Kelly, or did you go straight from school to work? What do you want to share with the audience?
Well, with the audience, I'll say that you can find me at Soul, like the sun, SOL, with a view. So Soul with a View. I got that because I live in the Valley of the Sun in Phoenix, and because you know, it's a little play on the word soul, which I am really into this, to a deeper purpose and connection in the world, and like with others. I think that connection is the purpose of our lives, and also one of my favorite movies ever is A Room with a View. And so
nice.
Yeah. So, you know, I have gone to many colleges. I have done a lot of professional and lived experiences, and many modalities from healthcare to, just about everything I can think of, it feels like. But my real goal right now is I teach Pilates and yoga. There's a lot I'm able to do and can do, but I really just care right now. So I switch it up whenever that's what it feels true for me, of helping people to recognize that we're all intuitive. Everybody has the ability to be intuitive. Everybody needs to be able to trust themselves and to be their own leaders. And that's really important to me. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just helping people to kind of find themselves.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, Pilates is cool. Yoga is awesome too.
It's all about knowing your body, knowing yourself. For me, any modality that connects us to ourselves, because that's the best way we're going to create connections with others.
Yeah. What's on your reading list? What are you reading lately?
I haven't been reading much. In front of me, I have A Course in Miracles, and I have a book that I've been kind of thumbing through about energy therapy, because I also practice different modalities of energy therapy. And so just kind of reading more of the scientific parts of it, things I don't already know, or just like reminding myself of things. And you know, I don't know. I love fiction, but I just read a really great book by this author who, it's not published yet. It's about to be, but I really liked it. I don't remember her name because I'm the worst with names, but the book is Songbird's Love. And it's just a bit of a dystopian sci-fi sort of love story. It's a little racy at times. And I like anything that makes me think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really read like nonfiction all that like fluently. I mean, I'm capable of reading well. I just cannot just sit down and read text in that manner. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of books out there with false information too that you got to be careful of.
Well, you know, yeah, but you know, when you know yourself, when you're able to trust your instincts, your intuition, like, then you know what's true for you. Like, we're all taught to doubt ourselves and to not trust ourselves. And, you know, you might say to your parents when you're little, like, I don't know, like, I think there's some, you know, something in my room, something scares me. Or you might say like, I don't know what, like, something that just doesn't feel right to you. And your parents say, no, that's nothing. You're fine. It doesn't matter. You feel unfine. You feel afraid in that moment, but somebody's telling you to ignore how you feel. They're basically teaching you to ignore how you feel. Not on purpose, not maliciously, but your entire life. This is what you're taught. So you're literally constantly disconnecting from yourself. And so it takes a lot to reconnect. And so now when I read something, no matter what it is, like, I can honestly tell you, if I stop and I think about it, I can feel whether that's true or not for me. So I don't ever really worry about disinformation. I have a pretty strong gut feeling that really guides me.
Yeah, interesting. Have you heard it? Do you believe in the whole spirit guides? Do you have a spirit guide?
I don't have any person that I speak to. I just have a really strong sense of what I know. You know, and I definitely can. I do have moments where there's like definitely like I'll have a big strong image of something, and then I will call or say something to that person if it's about somebody else. And yeah, that was like definitely a psychic moment, but I don't have that all that often. It just depends on where I'm at in my life at that moment. But that's more of a, you know, that's like a guidance system as far as like to protect me, I think. But other than that, you know, it's really just when you tap into that intuition, you are your spirit guide. Like I've had dreams or meditative experiences where I felt like I went somewhere that was like my real home with my real family, which is not an experience that I've ever had on Earth. So there are definitely there's something out there. There's something more than what we experience in our waking hours here that is more real than my waking hours here. For me, these are my life experiences. But I don't have like a person that I talk to or an animal that I see that I'm aware of yet.
But it's interesting. So you've done quite a fair amount of work in your life in different industries. Wow.
Yep. I have a lot of lived experience, a lot of professional, a lot of education. But, you know, one of the biggest things for me that I've had to overcome even just more recently is that I'm kind of like, I'm really rejecting this behavior of people trying to prove their ability, prove their worth, prove their qualification. I definitely reject the higher education system as it is here in the United States. It's a bunch of crap. And so is a joke, really. Like, there's some things you can glean from it, but the majority of it is just a joke. And so for me, like, I try not to put all these certifications and qualifications and things I've done down anywhere, because I would rather have like a conversation with somebody and see if we align or whatever than trying to prove my worth to people anymore. Like, I'm over trying to sound like I'm the expert. You know, I don't like when people do that, because they're just regurgitating information instead of being present. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point, Kelly. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, so much material items out there now, and I feel society's just getting greedy. People just want to one-up each other.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. This me-centered experience that people are constantly doing, where they just are willing to step on the backs of others to rise up instead of rising up together. That's what's wrong right now in our world.
What's next for you? Where do you want to go with your company?
Well, I'm stepping forward to be more able to be seen and heard, so that I can reach a larger audience. The more I have, the more I can do, the more I can like financially gain stability, or, you know, the more that I can give, the more you know what, the only reason I want to make any amount of money in the world is simply so that money can flow through me. I have no intentions, no desires to keep it. And I have children. Like, I just simply want to be a person where financial abundance can flow through, you know, so that it can keep lifting people up. Just a bridge. I just like really care about being a supportive person in a community that is supportive and growing that.
Wow. Sounds to me you have a lot of dreams and ambitions, which is good.
I care. That's all. You know, I just care. I just care about people feeling that worth from within, about being able to know themselves, about feeling good with who they are and knowing who that is. That's so important.
What are you doing for the weekend? What are you up to for the weekend, Kelly?
Well, this is it. It's for me right now. It's Saturday night. I'm probably going to go into bed early because I have a long day tomorrow of setting myself up for a week. So doing a bunch of calls this week and really like starting a bit of a launch, and getting my ducks lined up after many months of hiding out. So that's what I'm doing this week.
Cool. That sounds productive for you as well. Sounds like you're going to keep busy too. And it's very important to stay busy.
Well, you know, in moderation, right, Stephen?
But yes, and as we'll say about the start of the room, you know, for me, dating's not a rush for me anymore. Like, it's not like what they make it out to be on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, because they make it out to be so glamorous and romantic. I don't know.
Well, yeah, TV is not based on reality. It never was. It never was. You know? There's not a moment in history since television's been invented that it was based on what's real. It's always just been, this is what we want you to believe, or we want to feed you this sort of fantasy, like idealistic thing, because that's what everybody checks into, and it's all about, you know, ratings and such. So there's nothing on TV that's real. Not even the news.
Yeah, exactly. Because for me, like, I mean, I'm single. I've never been married, but for me, marriage is a very sacred thing to me.
That is, Stephen, that's so important to know who you are, to have your identity first, though, because otherwise, if you don't, when you get married, if anything goes wrong, when you're dating seriously, if anything goes wrong, you lose yourself when you break up. And now you're having a crisis experience instead of just a separation experience. And that is what causes so much grief and so much heartache and so much struggle. And that's also what keeps you in relationships that are unaligned, that are unhealthy for both of you, you know?
It's important to stay healthy and be happy, I guess.
It's important to really know who you are and to feel rooted in that first. You got to have that foundation. That's your foundation.
But I suppose, Kelly, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast today.
Yeah, you're welcome, Stephen. I hope you'll have a good weekend.
You too. Where can people find you on social media and reach out to you?
Yeah, any Instagram. I think I just recently made a Facebook. My Twitter, I think, is Soul Coach Kelly, but Soul like SOL, or my handle is Soul with a View. So, just find me there. Soul with a View.
And guys, don't forget to subscribe to the Stephen Shields radio show. New podcasts are out every Friday, 6 p.m. Sydney, Australia time. Turn on notifications as well. I've got music on Spotify. I want to thank you for listening. And stay safe and stay cool. All right. Take care, Kelly.
Bye.